given of course, he took
He's
it
telling the
seriously.
truth.
But he was told to do this. He was told to tell it like it is no matter what. And by the way, I want to remind anybody out there who's listening to this show, who works in a company or a large corporation, if you're ever given that mandate, you can say whatever you want to the boss. My door's wide open.
Yeah, right.
Don't believe it.
No, it's not didn't work that way. But it's just so funny that March 8th, presidential memorandum, the designation of officers of the Office of the Director of National Intelligence to act as Director of National Intelligence.
A little warning.
During any period
Shot over the bow.
A shot. It's a setup. During any period when it's the DNI and the principal deputy director have died, they don't say it's like died, resigned, or otherwise become unable to perform. That's nice. How about resigned or died? No, died is first. I've died. It's like if I were Clapper, I'd take a long vacation. And don't get in the hot tub. It could be bad for your health.
Yeah, the hot tub's a bad idea.
So that's my prediction. You can put money on it. Like you take that to the bank. Clapper is getting died. Although
you're actually predicting he's going to get killed?
No, he's going to resign. He's going to
resign. He can't take it anymore.
No, he's going to resign. Of course not. He's not allowed to. But then for them to put this out like, just so you know, when the guy goes, here's who's next. And of course the guy who's next is that young guy, what's his name? Michael Leitner. He's the guy that's next. He's a former spook. You know,
if they wait long enough, they can put Eric Schmidt in there.
Oh, wow. Well, there you go. Wow, the spot just opened up, didn't it?
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, I like that one. We're still waiting to see where he winds up.
Well, he's at Commerce now, but that won't last.
He's not at Commerce. He didn't get nominated.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't. No, he did. Candidate.
Oh, okay. Well, he'll be in. No. Well, maybe they'll move him over to this.
No, I think this would be good for him.
Well, we were going to make him this, but now we're going to make him that because this guy can wait because he can't take it anymore. Because he's actually telling the truth, telling it like it is.
Yeah, are you crazy? Hey, you out of your mind? Telling people the truth.
It's not good. So anyway, back to so I ran into some interesting spookish information that was floating around C-SPAN by these guys they're all writing books and that nobody reads except agencies.
Except other agents.
But they were just to get a little taste of apparently the head of the CIA said there's 50 Al-Qaeda and there was this very interesting debate going on. But here, just play slamming the CIA so you can get kind of a taste of how these guys operate when they're in public.
How it will turn out, no one knows. There are a lot of very dangerous possibilities. I'll just make one comment about 50 Al-Qaeda. With all due respect to the Director of Central Intelligence, I've been engaged in the business of counting insurgents and terrorists for some 35 years.
Like sheep? One terrorist, two terrorists, three terrorists.
We don't have a clue. And anyone who says they know how many there are is either bluffing or something worse. Al-Qaeda is a lot more complex problem than 50 individuals. And I wish that the United States government would get out of the business of body counts. We learned in Vietnam that's not very helpful. And get into the business of thinking about our enemy in a more flexible way.
Flexible? What does that mean?
I don't know.
Flexible way.
I have no idea, but this is a guy named Bruce Rydell who...
Former spook?
Well, it's hard to say, but he did a book called Deadly Embrace about the Afghan War or something. And anyway, he had a couple of interesting things that I think are worth playing. Spins out of control, Taliban concept as a friend.
Which one do you want?
China and Pakistan. This is really interesting.
Okay, here we go.
And they have their own strategic imperatives. The Chinese actually have a lot more influence in Pakistan than the US does. They take our money, but the influence is really coming from China. They call them the all-weather friends.
What, the all-weather friends?
Yeah, and the guy immediately agreed. Apparently the Chinese...
That's right. He said, that's right. That's right.
That's right. They're the all-weather friends. And he explains it. Now, I didn't know any of this.
And China does look at the US as a quasi-adversary, and they look at India as a quasi-adversary. And I'm wondering whether they have a vested interest in actually creating some instability or encourage. Like just today's New York Times, a story that they funded and gave the technology for a nuclear reactor to make bombs.
Wow.
Just now.
The Chinese did that.
Yeah. Can you know that?
No, I thought we did. I thought we gave them all that stuff.
Apparently, the Chinese are right to this day selling them nuke plants to make bombs.
So right on.
In this world of non-proliferation and all this other stuff, they are encouraging the Pakistanis to build nuclear bomb material.
Well, we know that Hillary Clinton said, China is our competitor.
Yeah.
Well, this is it.
What's your take on the Iranian and Chinese, and do you discuss it in the book, or is it focused on?
Briefly, you characterize China quite rightly. Pakistan's perspective, they're the all-weather friend. If we're the fair-weather friend, they are taller than the Himalayas and deeper than the Indian Ocean. In practice, while they've given Pakistan a lot of weapons and nuclear reactors and the design for its bomb, in every clutch situation, the Chinese haven't done anything more than we have. China's short answer is China is in a quasi-rivalry with us and with India, but it's also in a relationship with us and India, which is an economic cornucopia.
Cornucopia or cornucopia?
Well, apparently cornea.
Cornucopia. It's on your eye.
And China is trying to figure out how to balance all of this together. So for me, the high road here is to try to get the Chinese to row with us in this. They don't want a jihadist state in Pakistan. They don't want to see the Indian economy suffer a devastating blow because they're investing in the Indian economy now. Tricky, hard to do. But something that we can do. Iran is a more difficult partner. The short version is, in Afghanistan since 2001, Iran has largely been a supporter of what we want to do because they hate the Taliban. The trick here is to somehow segue off their relatively positive pursuits in Afghanistan from the so many other things where we have very serious disagreements with them. That's a very tricky diplomatic problem to pursue.
My God, John, that's so incredibly boring.
It is. It's
How
boring,
can
but
you sit
interesting.
through? No, it's very interesting, but how can you sit through all that?
It wasn't easy.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway, the thing that we did know already that Iran was, this is why I want to bet on this, by the way, because I knew this, that the Iranians and us were in bed regarding our relationship to the Taliban. And we didn't want to talk about it, even though there was a lot of threats. Oh, we're going to bomb Iran, we're going to do this, we're going to do that.
Right.
And that was never going to happen because they're actually allies with us.
Yeah, they're our friends. And by the way, Goldman Sachs and Citibank, they've all got big buildings there. They've got banks there.
And so we know this is going on, but at the same time, I think we also had a clip maybe a few months ago where there's an Iranian intelligence guy going on about how, it was incredibly stupid the way we were going about making friends with the Taliban. They didn't like that at all, and it stems from the fact that they hate the Taliban.
Sure.
In every way, shape, and form. Now, as a kind of, I don't want to bore people totally stiff with this Middle Eastern analysis, but to go to another guy, which kind of relates to the Iranian situation. This guy, James Robin, he's an international relations professor at the National Defense University.
Does he have a funny accent? Because that makes it good.
No, he doesn't. Oh. But he's definitely wrote a book on kind of reanalyzing the Vietnam War. This is how really wonkish some of these guys are. But he made an interesting commentary on, and I think this is coming right out of it. I think the intelligence agencies are all on board with this particular commentary on 4chan, which is down on the list there, odd commentary on 4chan, which I thought was really interesting that he would say this.
Does everyone know what 4chan is?
Yeah, 4chan is one of these groups that I think they're either part of or stem from or associated.
You're doing it all wrong. 4chan.com is essentially a huge message board which doesn't store anything, and everything goes. So you can't do a takedown request because by the time you put the request in, whatever's up there is gone. It is an amazing source for porn. But I think what you're going to say is that this could possibly also be a meeting place for a lot of the so-called anonymous group.
Exactly. Right. So here, play this.
Hi, Dr. Robbins. I'm really interested in a contemporary sense of...
Hold on a second. Stop. Just as a little background, this is a talk on the Vietnam War. Now, why this particular question and answer took place is kind of beyond me, but I think it was just to kind of to send a kind of a message throughout whatever community listens to this crap.
I'm really interested in a contemporary sense about your comments regarding 4chan, the hacker network's attack on the Iranian nuclear program.
So that's all right.